Oh, that was weird. Welcome back, Daily Show. And if you're just tuning in on a different stream, thanks for hanging out with us. We are aware that there are some power issues going on in downtown. I texted an Ameren rep to see if we can get an update for you on that, and we'll keep you posted if you still have some power that keeps turning on, turning back off throughout the area. I think our generator's hanging down here, so we might have to give a live read to whatever manufacturer that was. We got Dale Blachford in the studio, Jackie Duty. It's really great to continue our conversations with Vitality, and I think it's really important because there's, I think the last couple of weeks have shown that there's a lot of people that, really support the work that's being done and the people that have done the work. Jackie, where should we start today?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm so excited just to have Dale in studio with us. He has been such an incredible resource. When I got started, I really sat here thinking, gosh, I have no idea what I'm doing. How are we going to do this? And to have such an incredible team of leadership on the board, led by Dale, it has been phenomenal. So when I first started, I was calling you every day. I'm like, okay, what do I do today? What are we doing? But it's been amazing. The conversations around the boardroom have been so incredible in regards to the vision of where we're going, taking time to honor the history of where we've come, but then the vision of where we're going next. And it gets so exciting. I've never been a part of a board that has been this incredible to work with. They're so engaged and they're so valuable. And I can't think of, anyone around the table that has not contributed in some incredible way. And, so I thought it would be important to spend at least a week bringing in the chair of the board just to talk about some of those conversations, and really where we've come from. I think if we start there, what's the history of how it began? Because Dale is actually the only board member in our history who's been involved with every transition from the beginning. Wow. And so I'd love to hear.
That's incredible.
More of that.
That's why I'm so old.
I was already saying, does that date you or is that no? Well, and Dale, that really you've had a long career here in the Riverbend and a great one. You've worked with so many different organizations, and take me through really the what brought you to Vitality in the first place, and just the evolution that the organization's had over the years.
All right. Well, Tom Long, everyone knows Tom, invited me to a dinner the very first time. And I tell this story a lot because Tom just said, would you and your wife join us at our table? Sure, I'll come to dinner and see what's going on. It was Arms of Love at the time. But he didn't tell me it was a fundraiser. So we get there, and then all of a sudden they're asking for money. And it's like I wasn't really prepared because I didn't know I was going to be asked for money because they didn't tell me it was a fundraiser. So I always tell people now, when you invite somebody, make sure you tell them it's free to come and it costs to get out. So, there's an exit fee. Doors lock at 7 o'clock, and you can't open them until you've written a check. Anyway, that's a little of a side note. But I went to the board meeting, and shortly after that, Ron Wetzel, who was the executive director at the time, called me and asked me to meet him for lunch. So I did, and he wanted me to come on the board. And I've always been supportive of life and figured, well, okay, I'll see if I can help out. And I started coming to the board meetings and came on the board. And a couple years after I was on there, they wanted to change the name. And, name changes are never easy. And it's like, why are we changing the name? Well, Arms of Love, people confused us as just being a faith-based organization. They thought it was too churchy.
Yeah.
So people wouldn't come. So we needed to change the name to make it not be so churchy. So we went from Arms of Love to Options Now. Options, give women options, what they can do, if they have a pregnancy. So we changed to Options Now, and at the same time kind of changed I wouldn't say the focus of the ministry, because the focus of the ministry's never really changed, but the way we deliver it has changed. Mm-hmm. And it seems like each time we have made a change in our name, it's because we're changing the way we're going to approach our ministry. Yeah. And we're going to improve it. And, so we ran under Options Now for a number of years. Ron left, and we had Trudy come on, and Trudy ran it through most of the time it was Options Now. And during that timeline, we changed the way we interacted with the women, the way we presented our product. We wanted to get into the medical side more, because we found that if we could show the picture of the baby to the mother, there was a really good chance she might choose life.
Yeah.
Okay. So we needed to. We worked for a long time to be able to get funding to be able to do that. And we were doing it, and we were going along pretty well, but we were always struggling. And then we ran into Thrive, and Thrive really kind of got us refocused. And we felt that, well, okay, we want to follow some of their principles because we'll improve the quality of our services. Mm-hmm. So we changed to Thrive, and we got more into the medical, and got really into the medical at that point. And they had a really good system that we didn't have as far as how to approach and the questions to ask and how to provide the service to the mothers. So we did very well in changing and becoming part of Thrive. And then in the last year, we've kind of started feeling like, maybe it's time to change again, because we were, I don't want to say stuck,
Yeah.
but we weren't advancing the way I'd like to see us advance. So we kind of thought about it, prayed about it, and decided maybe it was time to go another direction.
Well, I think it's, one of those things where it really is just showing the organization's response to what the community needs in that given time. And I think that's always such a really important standpoint from, Vitality Now or Thrive or Options Now, all of the names you want to give, because everyone, every generation's different. And,
Exactly.
Every time, in life is different for individuals. And Dale, take me through when you saw the biggest, in your mind, the biggest impact in terms of changes made. Wasn't when the medical approach really became more prevalent for you?
Yeah, I think so. That made a huge difference, because now you're talking in a whole different language.
Yeah.
I mean, you bring somebody in and they can see the baby. It just changes everything. And that's when we started having a lot more success of being able to save more babies. We were saving babies before, but it's just a different experience when you can, test them. You can provide some services that they otherwise would have to go somewhere else to get. But then when you actually show them a picture of the baby, or they can see it, you can see it in their face. Their face just changes,
Right. Well, and I think it's so important too that you're able to do that without, forcing an option. And I think that's the biggest accomplishment here is, so many times I think the public might perceive, well, they just want you to do one thing at, Vitality or this, whatever name we went through.
Yeah.
But whenever you really just say, here's what you have. Here's the ultrasound, or here's your STI testing to make sure you're healthy, and here's options to help you be a parent. Here's options to be successful if you're really having a tough time. I think it really just gives that chance of making a free will choice. It's not just based on the circumstance anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, keep in mind we don't save lives. God does.
Yeah.
We introduce we're the in between. Okay.
I like that.
He works with us, but we set it out there, and the women and God work together to change the life. But one of the things that we're trying to do, and I think is really important, is get more focused on our community. Mm-hmm. We were a little bit, not that we weren't always focused here, but there was Thrive was doing a lot of good things nationally, and they were in the fight, okay, to change the laws and all that kind of stuff. Well, our little pregnancy center is not going to change the laws.
Right.
Okay. We just got to continue working in our marketplace. And we kind of got out of our marketplace. So the main reason I think to move the direction we're moving is we want to focus completely on our market. And I this is me speaking, but there's a perception, I think, of pregnancy centers because of the national fight of people yelling at each other and screaming and holding picket signs and doing all this kind of stuff. And that's not what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're not yelling at anybody. We're loving people. And, the women we come in contact with, some are going to choose life, some aren't. Yeah. And we're going to treat them all the same because we're not here to judge people. We're not here to make life more difficult for them or make them feel bad. We're here to love them. We're here to give them the gospel. We're here to share God's love with them. And, they're going to make a decision that they're going to make. We're going to help give them information so they can make a better decision.
Mm-hmm.
But, one thing we have to keep in mind, Planned Parenthood obviously is performing a lot of abortions.
Mm-hmm.
Their goal is not to have each girl just have one abortion, but to have multiple abortions. So if we contact someone and we're working with them, or they come see us, and if they choose to have the abortion, that's their choice, okay? Go back to their choice. But we're going to love them to the point that if they get pregnant again, they'll come back for the second one, and maybe we'll save the second one.
Yeah.
Okay? So we really have to set people up to feel like this is a place that'll help me, that understands me, that gives me information, that loves me and helps me, so that if I get in that situation again, I know where I can go, and maybe their result will be different.
Well, and now there's one question I want to ask before we take a quick break, and we'll come back and chat it up more. And that's, what makes Vitality strong? Is it the board? Is it the volunteers? Is it a component of all of it? And what are the components to really having a successful nonprofit? And because, especially in this day and age, less than 4 months seems like a milestone anymore. To be here for decades and still provide the service. What components do you attribute that to?
All of the above.
It is Stand to Right test week,
It takes a workforce, or it takes people that have a heart for this, because we're dealing with people that are experiencing a lot of pain in their life right now, and not anyone and everyone can do that. So we have a great group of women that work in our organization. Again, as we've gone through the process, we were completely volunteer-based with workers when we were Arms of Love and when we were Options. And at the end of Options, going into Thrive, we became where we hired employees. So there's a difference between a hired employee and volunteers.
Yeah.
Volunteers are great,
yeah,
okay, but they can't get up to speed as well as someone that's there all the time. So I think when we started that process of having full-time employees, that made a huge difference. Boards obviously make a great difference because they bring perspective and they ask questions and try to help set direction. But then you have to have strong leadership.
Yeah.
And, right now we're blessed with all of that. We have strong leadership, we have a good board, and we have great people. Those people have been with us for years. So, again, they've been through all these different phases. So they've just gotten stronger as leadership and other things have gotten stronger with it. So it takes everybody working together and having a heart for it to make it work.
Jackie, another good start to a conversation on a Wednesday. We're 3 in a row. We're doing pretty darn good.
It's a great day.
Hey, we'll take a quick break, but we're going to come back and talk more. The annual dinner is coming up April the 10th. That's where it's like Hotel California. You can check in anytime you like, but until Dale gets a check, you can't leave. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
I like your style.
We'll take a quick break. We'll come back, talk about how to get tickets, talk about more about Vitality. You stay there, and we'll be here.
If you think you might be pregnant, you don't have to face it alone. At Vitality Women's Clinic, you'll find the care you deserve. We offer confidential, no-cost pregnancy testing, ultrasounds, and STI testing. Our team is here to listen, support you, and help you understand your options without pressure or judgment. Walk in or make an appointment today. Call 618-466-1690 or visit VitalityWomen'sClinic.org. Vitality Women's Clinic, clear answers, real support.
Accidents happen in a heartbeat, but lives change forever. Whether it's a car crash, workplace injury, medical malpractice, or wrongful death, you don't have to face the consequences alone. Keith Short and Associates brings over 33 years of experience and a reputation for fighting fiercely for your rights. For relentless representation that you can trust, call Keith Short and Associates at 618-254-0055 today for a free consultation.
Firearms training shouldn't feel intimidating. At Precision Point Armory in Bethalto, we focus on safety, confidence, and real-world skills. Whether you're new or renewing your concealed carry, you'll get professional instruction without pressure. Learn safe handling, sound decision-making, and proper techniques tailored to your experience level. If you're looking for premium firearms training in the heart of Bethalto, Illinois, call 618-779-9947 or go to precisionpointarmory.net and train with confidence today.
Struggling with depression that just won't go away? At Precision TMS, we offer a non-invasive, drug-free treatment designed to target the areas of the brain linked to mood regulation. Using FDA-cleared transcranial magnetic stimulation, gentle magnetic pulses help reactivate underperforming brain circuits without surgery or sedation. Many patients experience real relief, even after other treatments haven't worked. Our experienced team provides personalized care every step of the way. Contact Precision TMS today to see if TMS therapy is right for you.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Lennox system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
What's up, it's Mike Keith. What's up, bro? Back to spotlight other amazing alumni and how they discovered their path at Lewis and Clark. Let's jump into it. This is Tom Wills,
an assistant chief of the Godfrey Fire District. He has been a firefighter and an EMT for over 20 years. Tom is currently an instructor in the Lewis and Clark Paramedicine program and has 2 degrees from LC, fire science and nursing.
I'm Tom Wills and I'm a trailblazer.
Oh no, another bad headache?
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to see your doctor.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including diagnosing health issues or referring you to a specialist. Schedule an appointment today.
Welcome back, Daily Show, 942, a little bit of change. So we were kind of hinting on some of the ways that you can support Vitality. We're going to get back into the deep part of the conversation with Dale and really learning more about just the board and how it operates too. But, you know, going into the break, we were kind of talking it up about this ambassador program. Fill me in on, because there are ways that we can support, and jokes aside, we love to help financially, but even if we can't do that, we can still support.
Yeah, there's several ways we need people to help us, and obviously money. It takes money to do everything, and to really reach the girls today, we need digital marketing, and as you know, digital marketing isn't cheap. But if we don't have that, we're not reaching the women. So obviously that's our need, is to be able to pay our people and provide the service and reach out and touch girls. But a couple challenges we've had over the years that we've kind of come up with some different ways to reach people. We can't get onto college campuses because of our organization and what we stand for. So
that makes sense. I didn't even think about that component.
They won't let us come into we couldn't even have a booth at a fair there or anything. They won't let us come in because we're a controversial, faith-based abortion.
I didn't realize
non-abortion.
that. Yeah.
I mean, it's the fight. So, we just have to do it in different ways. So. Part of Vitality is we've got several different programs that we're starting that we've never done before to kind of help with that. And one of them is the Ambassador Program, Ambassador for Life, or whatever you want to call it. But while we can't get onto campus, they can't keep us from having girls that go there be part of our organization. So we are forming an Ambassador Club, and it's made up of people male and female, that want to be part of our organization and support our organization. And actually, if they're going to school there, they're going to be touching the people that we're really trying to reach anyway. And if they have a girlfriend or they know somebody in their dorm or whatever that may be pregnant and doesn't know what to do, they can share our message. And get us connected.
And I think it goes above that too. You know, even with what that work is and being it's so important and having those components of it, it's just creating a community of support. And really, that's what Vitality is throughout it, is that you're not alone. You know, and what I think is so important about it is I think it's it's faith-based without being faith-based in your face. Here's your scripture the moment you walk in the door, because it's all based on what the belief system is. And I think it's so important that you guys tie all that together and create something bigger than just the ambassador program and what that creates on top of it too.
Yeah, so we want to get in front of people that we can help and help in many different ways. And if part of that help ends up saving a baby, that's just fantastic. So it doesn't have to be college girls. It can be anybody. Yeah. In fact, we've got a program that she's starting it's called Grandma's Gang. Now, they're not putting up lights for Christmas. Okay? Just so we're not competing with Grandpa's Gang. But
you know what would be kind of funny is if the Grandma Gang went out like the day after Christmas and held up signs to complain that the Grandpa Gang needs to get these lights done. That would be funny. That would be pretty cool.
You know what? Look, we can use our student interns to go and do the video work. We can bring it all together.
We've mentioned the Grandma Gang, the Grandma Gang before, Jackie. Fill me in a little bit. You guys both get on this. This is a cool program.
Oh, I'm so excited. We've had such an incredible response to it already. We're actually going to have multiple chapters. So it may be, your church has an organization of, maybe retired widows or grandmas that just want to get together and do something collectively as a group. And so we have different, organizations coming together to form their own chapter of it. Some are choosing to come into our center like Wednesday afternoons and do different tasks. Some are, maybe you have a grandma that's sitting at home that transportation is an issue and she can't leave, but she's looking for a way to be connected or tied into a community effort. And so the Grandma Gang is going to do different tasks. And, it may be helping us put together centerpieces for our upcoming dinner. It may be helping, put together envelopes to send a direct mail piece out. But the one that I get really excited about is the grandmas that are deciding to write the letters. So they're going to sit down as a group and they're going to be writing letters to the girls. And, if you think about when I was really struggling and I'd call grandma and say, what do we do when the baby's crying at 2 o'clock in the morning and I can't get him to stop crying? Having those words of wisdom and that advice just to help me through some of the challenges of being a young mother was so valuable. And so picture the Grandma Gang writing those letters of just encouragement. Hey, girl, you got this. Keep going. So if you're looking for something to be a part of, maybe transportation is an issue and you can't get out of your house. Or maybe you have a group of women that you get together and maybe you've got a book club or something and you're like, we want to do just a little bit more. Here's an opportunity to be part of an organization and give back. And that you're pouring into the lives of these young women that are just trying to figure things out as they go. And you can essentially be adopting one of our young ladies and be a grandma to those that need it.
Well, and it goes back really, again, what we were just talking about, that community that you're creating. And I really think that this is an exciting chapter for Vitality, because that really is, the name really does speak for all the work that's being done with the programs and really keeping that brand, together. And, Dale, as we go back into this conversation with your end of the board and being the chairman, what do you think the next couple of years look like for Vitality? What does the board want to see, and what would you like to see happen in the next couple?
Well, a couple things. First, I want to build on ambassador, but really our community. She did a auction after Thanksgiving. Okay, online auction. We went out as a board and started knocking on doors.
That was awesome.
And one lady on our board in particular spent a whole afternoon going everywhere. And she went into places, and women were coming up to her that were working at this place saying, I want to support you because you were there for me when I was...
Oh, that's fantastic.
So, and that didn't happen just once. It happened multiple times.
Really cool.
So we never know our impact until after, we just never know unless we run into somebody and tells us. Well, we were come to find out we're running into all these women that were clients of ours.
Yeah.
That we didn't know, and they were sharing their story with her. So that's actually going to be talked about a little bit at the banquet. So we want to continue to build our impact in our community and make it stronger. And then the next thing is totally different. Well, I guess it's not totally different because we've talked about it before, but we've never really done much with it.
Yeah.
For every mother, there's sometimes a father, okay? Well, there had to be a father to get the mother. So we want to try to build families, okay? Because the world works through families, and we weren't intended to be single mothers and all this kind of stuff. Now, that happens, and God bless them, and we're here to help them and support them. But we'd really like to reach out and try to touch more men and try to build families. So we're going to start a process of experimenting on what it would look like and how it would work. Now, not every father that's involved in this process wants to be involved, so we understand that. But there's a certain number that do, and there's a lot of men out there that don't know what a father is, okay?
Right.
Or they don't know what it looks like, or they're afraid they couldn't be a good father, or they had a problem with their father and they don't want to have that situation again. So we are actively beginning to search for some ideas and what we could do for those fathers that want to be involved but are afraid or nervous or don't know how to do this. We want to be there for them as well. And hopefully over time, maybe we can get that as a family unit and they become a family, because children have a much better opportunity in their life if they come from a family that's whole. And we don't want, number one, we want to save the life, but then we would also like to create a family if we could, for those that it's warranted or they have got the opportunity to become a family.
Well, and I think it really opens up a really bigger community question, because there's so many conversations on, the nonviolence initiative in Alton and, all these different nuances, the ways that we can help combat youth violence. But it, really starts at home. And if you can keep that home together and really just provide that option again, where, like you said, Dale, Jackie, we spoke about this too, not everyone's going to say yes to this. They're not going to say, all right, let's go. But just to know, hey, for maybe a couple of generations, we've had a broken system in our family when it comes to the family dynamic and the nuclear family aspect that we've all seemed to lose. You have a chance to really gain knowledge on how to really thrive and do this, together. And I think that that's so important whenever you have that conversation, because I'm sure there's women that have come in that maybe don't even want to tell their partner or significant other or, whatever the situation is. Yeah. And so to include them on the conversation, or at least to try that, I think it's a really good step.
Well, it's another step of kind of filtering through the whole situation when the lady comes in or woman comes in, and then if they seem interested or the father seems interested and it seems like it could be a good situation, it's not a toxic situation from the beginning, then maybe we can start working with them. And, it's just one more piece of the puzzle. And I think it kind of completes the puzzle if we could do that.
I agree.
And again, it's not going to be for everyone, but if we got 20% of the people together and help them become a family, that child has a much better chance and a much better life with a father and a mother than they do just with a mother.
Yeah.
And that's not taking away from single mothers at all. It's just the biblical way is to have a family, have a mother and a father. And there's plenty of examples of that. And we just want to try to finish the piece.
Well, and I think, as we've had the conversation as a community so many times of where does it start and how do we get there? And I think this is a great chance to really see if this is a solution to that problem. Who knows? And I just think it's a really important testament to what is being done right now. And Jackie, as executive director, when you're working with the board, take me through that working relationship, with Dale, with the rest of the board members. What's that look like?
I'll tell you, they have been amazing. the ability to be able to pick up a phone and call them, they're all so gifted in different areas. And I think that's what really builds a strong board, is when you have so much talent that's so strong in different areas. So if something is coming up in one area, usually like with finances or numbers, I know Dale is an incredible resource because of his years as president of the bank. Cindy is involved with, the attorneys, string and parish attorneys at law. And so if there's ever a legal issue or something that, I can lean on that resource. If, David is strategic and he works with Boeing Defense, and so just his strategy and negotiation tactics. And then Matt coming at it with a viewpoint of having a pastoral, care, and Shannon being able to talk about her healthcare, background has been amazing. And Sharon as well with her financial and her ability to look at the numbers. I mean, and we want to grow. I mean, I think there's areas, this is what's so great, is that it's very fluid and will continue to grow and evolve and create more opportunities for more people at the table. But having that opportunity to pick up a phone and call, I know a lot about this little area here, but there's so much more that needs to be covered and talked about. So having that level of expertise at the table to look at the whole picture, I think has been so valuable, and to know that they're all just a phone call away. It's amazing.
1,000%. And you guys can see this on display too as you help support on April the 10th. You can see me, Dale, and Jackie, and Jackie, my Jackie will be there too.
Yes.
For a night over there for the annual dinner, April the 10th. Filming all the details. Over 300 people have signed up already, so that's looking good.
Well, and it's so exciting. We had shut off the registration, and we'd hit the goal that we had set. But over the weekend, we had so many people calling saying, I didn't get a chance to reserve my ticket. So we reopened it, and I have to cut it off at 400. Like, I cannot let one more person in the room. So we're getting, right now, I think we're probably zeroing in on closer to 350.
Yeah.
So if you want these last minute tickets, I've opened registration until Friday at noon, but you have to call me today, because I even had people calling for I need a table too, and that takes out 10. So please, email me, call me. We'll put the links out on our Facebook pages. Register now. The tickets are free, so they have gone very quickly, and the food is going to be awesome. So don't miss it. But we would love to see you guys there, experience what we've been doing, and hear the vision for where we're going. Doors open at 5:30. The event will start at 6, and I promise we'll have you out of there well before midnight. It'll be a beautiful evening. I like to manage expectations.
That's right. You can, vitalityspeaks.net is the website that's on your screen at home right now. You click on the reserve tickets here, and that'll take you right to where you need to go.
Yes. Yeah, and it's going to be a wonderful night.
We will have you out by 8 o'clock.
Yes.
If you can't make it to the banquet and you can't help us in any other way, just pray for our ministry. And pray that God blesses what we're trying to do, and we come up with the ways that we can reach more people and more women and save more babies and create families.
Fantastic. Any final thoughts, Jackie?
Just thank you for your support. I mean, this has been an incredible journey, and I can't wait for where we're going. I feel like every week there's something new that happens that we're like, yes, here's another piece, here's another component, and it's just building and growing so amazingly. So I'm excited for the future, and I can't wait to share as we move forward with these weeks. We're going to be bringing in patients, we're going to be bringing in some of the volunteers, just telling stories from our community, and so make sure you tune in every Wednesday at 9:20.
Fantastic. I love being a part of it and sharing the story with Vitality. You can learn more at vitalityspeaks.net. What's the official website for service?
So vitalitywomensclinic.org is where you can go to schedule your appointments if you want to get a free pregnancy test, free ultrasound, or free STD testing.
Just fantastic. I think it's great work, and really just, you can't put a price tag on that and the option that you provide there. Dale, great seeing you again.
Oh, nice to see you.
And I can hear much better today with the headphones in. They're like my hearing aids. All right, I'll chase you into a commercial break. See what I did there?